so much more to say about that. And I know that people hate it when you get things wrong, and I probably got some things wrong, so I apologize if I did. Because when I read also the part about you saying about code switching, maybe you were talking about the one, I remember her name now. First name was Gigi. I don't remember the rest. But when you talk about code switching, maybe you were talking about her in regards to Hispanic people. I don't know if she was Hispanic or not. She may have been, may not have been. Um, but and the reason I say this is because I know my actual boss was Hispanic, and so I think I would have made the connection if she was actually Hispanic as well. Um, so yeah, but the thing was for survival, and it's not, and it wasn't for her particular reason. I think, what did you say here? Uh, Excuse me for a moment. For your particular reason, you said virtue signal their fitness for acceptance in the American tribe. And what I'm going to say about this, about the United States, I don't even believe this is an American tribe because they took away the Native American tribes. But um, I think it's because she knew how close she appeared to, she was racially ambiguous when it comes to, she wasn't black, but she was ambiguous. She could be Middle Eastern, she could be Hispanic, she was ambiguous. So she wanted to make sure that people knew that, let's bomb those bastards. That's what she said, them bastards. And I was like, you don't even know what happened. And then she's just jumping and saying it because she's making it known, because you work for a bank, I guess you want to make it seem like, oh, she's upright and all this. But people do that all the time, when, like, I remember being at a gas station, and the gas station was Indian owned. The guy came out and says, I will have them take your black ass away, and it's to make sure. And it's so funny. There's an Indian girl that I actually stayed with for a while, and we looked a lot alike. And she would be telling people the same thing. We looked a whole lot alike, and I never really received racism like that until I gotten older, I didn't know Indian people were racist. If anything, a lot of them accepted me into the fold. But as I got older, I took on more black personalities and more black appearances. And, they had to make sure they differentiated themselves from me. We have a lot more similarities than we know. And then the other portion, I wanted to speak to something else on that, but I forgot what it was because I'm in the middle of, like I said, cleaning and stuff. So the thoughts come in and they go, and I don't necessarily have the time or wherewithal to just jot down what I'm going to think about. But yeah, so let me see if I can pause it. Maybe I'll remember in just a minute. I don't remember what all I was really saying, but I go back to Lauryn Hill's thinking on that, where she says everything is everything. Everything is everything. Because when you see people that want to make sure that people don't think that they're homeless, so they dress up really, really nice. They live off the welfare system, but they got $200 fingernails and $1,000 booty, or, they have a car that's just way out of their league. All of these things, that they can't pay for. They're hunting down, trying to get their car back, them people that own it, But, everything is everything. But again, back to the basics. We all have to love each other and love ourselves, and love ourselves. And a lot of times, when people want to see, like for me, I don't think I'm a bad person at all, but I've heard it said, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Even when I was younger, I remembering there was a young boy, I remember his name when we first moved to the States. And I remember us playing together. He lived in the house behind ours, and I spoke about it in high school. And because I guess so many bad things or mean things that I didn't know about were said about me, he didn't want any association. He was like, well, you remember a lot more than I remember. But I never heard. And I remember teachers, when we first moved to the States, the kids were passing notes. And again, I wasn't exposed to the bullying. I wasn't aware until adult age when I went through a legal situation, you guys. But she was just like, these people you're talking about are not even thinking about you. And that's the story of my whole life. I'm not thinking about these folks, but they put me in a situation through legal where they wanted me to think about them, and they had to. I was like, okay, I'm gone. But no, they're like, no, we got our claws in you, And so that's why it's so important to me. I'm really trying to make my own way. Like I said, I have a couple small businesses, again, that I'm trying to get off the ground, and it's for this reason. It's for this reason, But again, if you can support me through purchase of a sticker or a magnet, I appreciate it. QR codes are listed below. All great pauses and things that I personally connect to and I personally talk about. Anyways, love you, bye. And I apologize if I misunderstood anything. But thank you so much for taking the time.